Welcome everybody back into another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I am your host, Devin, joined by my co-host, Jaden, and we are pretty fresh out of this Cowboys-Cardinals Monday night game that just got wrapped up here. We do record these on Monday night. They don't come out, obviously, until Wednesday morning. But before we get into our pregame talk, I actually wanted to talk about this game shortly. Not necessarily this game specifically, but things surrounding this game. One, I wanted to talk about how difficult when we get to the offseason, these top 10 rankings of wide receivers are going to be. Because a player like CeeDee Lamb is going to be difficult to place with the performances that have been happening with some of the receivers around the league. When you got the cemented guys in Jefferson and Chase, and then you have a JSN and Puka who are rising and looking like some of the best receivers in the league as they are. You also have a guy like Amon-Ra who's been at the top for now 3 years in a row. So that was something that I wanted to talk about. And I'm actually excited once we get to that time to rank those receivers. But the other part that I want to talk about is it seems like the Cardinals are going to keep Jacoby Brissett at quarterback going forward. And it really has me questioning Kyler Murray's future because I really don't know if it's in Arizona. And that gets me wondering, like, where could his potential destinations be? Like, I'm really sitting here thinking about teams that need quarterbacks. And, obviously my Raiders need one, and I'm not sure if that's the perfect destination for him, but I could see a team like the Raiders, getting a bit desperate and going out there for a Kyler. You look at maybe the Steelers post the Aaron Rodgers little era that they got going on because they're always kind of star hungry. They always want to stay relevant. Outside of that, I mean, are there any teams that you can even think of that would maybe take a chance on a Kyler? Like, I don't think the Saints could I actually don't know where the Saints are at as far as money. I know obviously they were down in the dirt for a decade almost with the contracts they were giving out. But maybe they like, Tyler Show. I don't know. It's a odd situation there. Especially when it looked like, I know he was marked as inactive for this game, but going into it, some of the reports were that he was active and he was ready to play. And then like right before the game, he was put as inactive. So I don't really know what's going on there. It's weird. It's weird. And I don't know where he could potentially land. It's a bit of a weird situation. Because even teams like that needed quarterbacks in the past. I mean, the Giants are set. I'm trying to think. The Titans are set. The Raiders are a possibility, as I mentioned. The Steelers are a possibility. The Jets, I guess. That was one that I didn't think about. The Jets could take a flyer. I don't know. It was just something that I wanted to rattle off before we got into anything because we're pretty fresh out of that game. But anyway, let's go to my main man, Jaden. What do we got for today's pregame talk?
All right, so today's pregame talk is going to be a little trivia game. I know you like playing trivia games.
All right, let's see what we got.
The topic is going to be, can you name every rookie to make a first-team All-Pros since the year 2000?
Okay, this is offense and defense?
Yes, and special teams. I'm going to be honest. I think
I can get some good ones.
It's really not that hard. And I'll tell you their positions. I won't give you the teams unless you're struggling.
Can I get a number on how many I'm guessing?
Total?
Yeah, what's the total number?
I haven't counted. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
Okay, so quite a bit.
And up until 2016, there's no year has double. Really only recently has there been double. Like 2016 has 3, 18 has 4, 17 and 22 have 2, but everything else it's only 1.
Okay. So the first one I want to rattle off, just because I know it, is formerly.
I was gonna go in order, but if you want to go all over the place, that's fine.
That's tough to go in order, but I want to start with the first one that came to mind. Formerly Darius Leonard, Shaq Leonard, should be on that list for the Indianapolis Colts.
That's 104 for 2018.
I was gonna say, did his counterpart on offense, if I'm not mistaken, make that in Quentin Nelson?
Yes, Quentin Nelson made first team All-Pro. You have a safety and a punter.
I think I know the safety, and it's Budda Baker for special teams. No. Is Budda 28? No, Budda might be 20s.
2017.
2017. Is it Derwin?
Yes, it's Derwin.
Okay. I guess I overthought that one. Did Budda make it though in 2017?
Okay. 2017.
So that was a hit. So I got 4. Let me think of some more recent ones before I go all over the place. Brock Bowers should be on this list.
Yes, 2024.
Sauce Gardner's going to be on this list.
Yes, again, 2022. There's one more player in 2022. He's a punt returner, I believe, or kick returner. I don't remember which one he made it for. I believe it's punt returns.
Is this Marcus Jones?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Is there... I don't think he was a rookie. Is there a special teamer like over the past like 2 or 3 years?
2023. A kicker.
Is that... Oh, it's a kicker. This feels like it should be obvious. It's not Brandon Aubrey, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Really? Okay. I mean, that makes sense, obviously, but I don't know why I didn't really remember that. Who I was thinking of was the guy he plays for Washington. He's actually been playing well. He's been starting at corner recently. I can't remember his first name, but I know his last name is Reeves. And I remember when that video came out where he made like the All-Pro team as a gunner, and I know that was a pretty big thing. But okay, let me keep working back here. What do I have? I think I have like no clip form shit 6 or 7 down. Let me keep working here. All-Pro teams since 2000. I'm gonna throw out like some of the like an Ed Reed. Did Ed Reed make it?
No.
As a rookie? Okay.
He didn't get drafted. He got drafted in the 90s.
There's probably a lot of like...
Wait, am I tripping? I'm tripping. No,
I think he was 2000 on the dot. I think. I could be wrong by that also, but there's probably a lot of running backs. Ezekiel Elliott is going to be on this list.
Yeah.
And this is All-Pro first team or just All-Pro period?
All-Pro first team. If it was All-Pro period,
that would be really tough, yeah.
Second. This is already a kind of long segment.
Is there any like recent, like over the past 5 years that I haven't named?
You're missing 2021 and 2019.
Okay, 2021.
2021 is a linebacker, edge rusher, and 2019 is another kick returner.
2021 edge rusher rookie.
Yeah, Ed Reed got drafted in 2002, by the way.
Oh, it's true.
In fact, I feel like it was a little later.
What was the 19 position?
Kick returner?
Kick returner.
Or punt returner? I believe it's kick returner, though.
Is this... Oh, my God. This might be my best pull. Is this Pharaoh Cooper? Fuck, bro. Oh, my God. I thought I was pulling one. I mean, I know he made it, but he wasn't a rookie, obviously. That felt good. Damn, that felt good off the fingers. All right. Special teams.
Punt returner. Punt returner
in 2019.
Wide receiver is his primary position. Never got established, really, as a wide receiver in his career. Had 1 year with 570 yards, but other than that, primarily, special team punt returner, kick returner for his whole career.
Okay, and then the 2021 was an edge rusher. Oh, this is really tough, no lie. I feel like they're all really easy, but it's just like brain fart having to think of it on the spot. A 2021 stud edge rusher. Oh, this is bad. That's Micah Parsons. That's bad. That's Micah, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's a bad. That took me way too long. As soon as I thought of it, I'm like, yeah, that's obvious. Okay. Micah for 2021. 2019 is a receiver. This isn't. No, that's a bad guess. He wasn't even 19. I think he was 2020. That would have been a bad guess. Who I was thinking of, I'm not even going to say it because that's embarrassing. 2019 receiver. Never really figured it out. 570. Was he like a day? He wasn't a first round pick. Was he a day 2 pick? Like, was he an earlier
He's
pick?
actually undrafted.
That's tough. Okay, let me move back a little bit. What are some other recenter ones that I haven't got, or more recent ones that I haven't got?
That's it, really. You have one left in 2018 and one left in 2017.
2018.
It's a punter in 2018, so it might be a little tough.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Played for the Seahawks.
Ooh. I mean, I'm definitely gonna know the name. Is it gonna come to me? Definitely not. That's tough, bro. I feel like it's the guy with long hair, but I could be really mistaken. The one in 2017. What is he? What position is he?
Kick returner / punt returner.
Man, these ones are gonna trip
there's a
me up.
couple of them that are. I'm gonna be honest. The kick returner, punt returner was. I'll give you the teams, but because they're like tough. 2017 is Jaguars. In 2019 is the other kick punt returner is the Saints.
Oh, for the Saints. He switched his name, but Deontay Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for the Jags, is that like a D.D. Westbrook?
No.
Is that? It's not. No, Hearns had a better year than 570. Hearns also no way he returned.
570 is the Saints player, by the way.
Oh,
Deontay Harris.
The right. I don't know why I thought I was thinking of that still. The Jags one, I feel like I should get this. They have so many of those.
This guy has the longest return, I believe, in NFL history.
Jamal Agnew.
Yes.
Damn, how do I not get that, bro? It's so obvious. Jags returner. And then the rest are in the 2000s?
No, you still have a lot in the 2010s.
Oh, for real?
2016, you got Zeke, and there's two more. There's a tackle and another kick return punt returner.
The tackle in 2016.
This might be a little tough. The kick returner, punt returner, receiver, made a Hall of Fame career for himself.
Really? In 2016. 2016. Who made a Hall of Fame career for himself? Hall of Famers from. Why is this tripping me up, bro? Because the players I'm thinking of, like, obviously they're not Hall of Fame career worthy.
He was, I believe, a day 3 pick.
2016. Yes. Not Stephon Diggs? No. 2016. Okay, let me move off that. The tackle in 2016. Did this guy have a successful career after this?
Somewhat, yeah. I don't believe he ever made another first-team All-Pro, but actually, yeah, he did. I'm lying.
Man, this is tough, no lie, bro. I love the trivia ones, but these are when it's on the spot, it is
Tennessee.
It is rough.
Tennessee tackle.
Jawan Taylor?
No.
Or is it fuck? It's the other one. Oh my god, this is the guy that went on to play for the Browns.
Yes.
Man, am I gonna get there? Oh man. Think. I also said the wrong name. I said Jawan Taylor. I meant Taylor Lewan. Like literally, like if you just flip the letters. Obviously not Joel Bitonio. That's the only name I can think of. Dude, it's the other. Is it Jack Conklin? No.
Yeah.
It is? Okay. I thought I was getting that name wrong. Okay, Jack Conklin. And then the returner that made a Hall of Fame career for himself, 2016. Fifth round pick. The name that's coming to mind is Brandon Cooks.
No.
And that's
not a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. That's not. But I'm pretty sure he was 2016. And that's just, and I think he was also like around that area.
This player won an offensive player of the year. Wait, did he? Am I tripping? I believe he did.
This is Cooper Kupp was the other name
I'm
that
tripping.
came
He
to
was
my
second.
mind.
Second in offensive player of the year voting.
It's not Devontae. No.
Nope.
It's not Antonio Brown. He was way earlier. Fifth round pick, 2016.
Man, you were
so
really,
the Z class.
Really effing this
I'm
one
just
up.
overthinking it. It's not D-Hop.
Second in offensive player of the year. Was also fourth in offensive player of the year.
As a receiver.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is a bad look. This is a really bad look. I'm just thinking of all the receivers that were amazing. Julio, D-Hop, AB,
And
Michael
2016
Thomas. Is it Michael Thomas?
as a kick returner?
No, I mean, I know that he had the stellar start to his career, but this is bad, bro. I have to get this, bro. I'm going to struggle with the 2000s, so I might call it after that, but I got to get these 2010 guys. 2016 made a Hall of Fame career for himself. Wide receiver, was a kick returner. Second in Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going through teams, bro. Raiders, no. Oh, my fucking God. That's all I needed to say. Tyreek Hill. Oh,
Yes.
my gosh. That's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. That's so bad. Okay, what are the other 2010s that we have?
2015. This is gonna take too long for you. 2014. A guard.
2014.
Hall of Famer.
Zach Martin.
Yeah. 2015 was Tyler Lockett, by the way, as a kick returner. I don't know how long it took you to get that.
I feel like I knew that, but I don't think I would have got there immediately.
2013, another kick returner. Hall of Famer.
You said 2014 or 2013? Is this AB?
No. Hall of Famer as a kick returner.
Cordero?
Yes. 2012 kicker. Vikings. His most memorable moment of his career is not a good thing.
Blair Walsh?
Yes.
And is that the 2010s?
Yeah. No, you got 2011. Yeah, this we might just do it to 2010 because
the 2000s it's get tough.
I mean, there's only one.
I feel like it's a lot.
There's
of
only
running
6
backs.
players, rookies. No, there's no. They're the only running back was Zeke
Really?
Elliott.
Wow.
We do 2011. Another kick return, punt returner. He's actually a cornerback. Also,
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2010, defensive tackle. Also, Hall of Famer. Probably, yeah, Hall of Famer. I would say.
Defensive tackle, Hall of Famer 2010. Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. That ain't too bad. All right, what are the names? You do like quick hints for 2000s. If I don't get them immediately, then just say them.
I'm going to be honest.
Some of them are
5
tough.
of these 6 players are Hall of Famers. But I'll give it to you. 2007, middle linebacker. Hall of Famer.
2007.
He was brought up on a recent pod.
Luke, no.
I think it was 2 pods ago,
I'm
maybe.
gonna say Luke Kuechly. Is this Patrick Willis?
Yeah. 2006 Hall of Famer, returner.
Hester.
Yep. 2005. I mean, returner. You're not gonna.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna get this. It's Jerome Mathis.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar.
2002 tight end.
2002
Hall of Famer. I believe. I could be wrong. Pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer.
Gates?
No.
That's way early for Gates. What the fuck am I talking about?
No, he's not a Hall of Famer. I'm tripping. 2-time Super Bowl champ though.
2002 Shockey?
Yeah.
Nice.
2001. Not a Hall of Famer yet. Made it as a kick returner. He's a wide receiver though. Hall of Fame career as a receiver.
2001 made it as a kick.
Hall of Fame worthy career. I'd say he's not a Hall of Famer, but I mean he had as close as you could get to Hall of Fame without being in yet.
I mean,
Triple Crown.
Steve Smith.
Yeah. 2000 is a Raider. Punter.
2000 is a Raider. Oh, no, I was about to embarrass myself. What's the first letter of the first name before I embarrass myself?
S.
Is Shane Larkin? No. Oh, my God. That was embarrassing. Shane Leckler. I just said fucking Shane Larkin. That's an NBA player, bro. Shane Leckler. Wow.
All right. And then we're going to go back to 84.
Here we go. It's the whole pod naming rookie all-pro players. That was tough, bro. I thought I had some good pulls there. I would have liked that Farrell Cooper one to hit. I know he was an all-pro returner, but obviously not a rookie. That one felt really good. But that was pretty fun. Despite it being tougher. That was fun. Before we get into our bold takes, which we got a decent amount of them, it's gonna be a little bit of a longer pod, so buckle up. You guys are gonna enjoy this one. I want to talk about a bunch of things that happened this past week in the NFL, because a lot of trades, signings, whatever it may be, went down in the NFL. So I'm going to start with the Eagles because they were the busiest team during this trade deadline. I'm not sure if this is all the trades we're going to get. I want to say the trade deadline is officially over tomorrow. I could be mistaken by that date, but I know it's upcoming. I want to say this week, sometime this week. But again, we'll start with the Ravens and all the moves that they make, or all the moves that they made. They acquired Jair Alexander from the Ravens. It was Jair Alexander and a 2027 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. They also made a trade with the Jets, who are sending Michael Carter and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for John Mechie and a 2027 6th-round pick. And the big one that they did was they traded for Dolphins edge rusher Jalen Phillips for a 2026 3rd-round pick. So, coming off a championship, the Eagles realized that despite them being at the top of the NFC, they definitely feel very, very beatable. This does not feel like the same team of last year. And they went out there and they made some additions to their defense. They feel like their defense is not where it should be. Making moves at the cornerback position and also beefing up that edge rushing room, because, man, can they not get any type of pressure on the quarterback. Jair Alexander, he's not really a whole ton to say about him. It's weird because I wouldn't say he's necessarily been terrible for the Ravens this year. He also obviously hasn't been good, but I also don't really even know if I want to say he's been average. Like, it's really tough to kind of gauge him on where I would say he is for the Ravens. I don't know. It's an odd trade to say the least. The Michael Carter one I actually like. I think this one could work out a lot for the Eagles. I think Michael Carter is kind of underrated. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to come in and be this stud player, but I think he can make a contribution to this DB room for sure. But the big one to talk about is obviously Jalen Phillips. You give up the biggest asset of the trade with this third round pick, the biggest asset that you gave up during this trade deadline, to bring in a player like Jalen Phillips to try to help obviously go back to back. And Jalen Phillips is a player where obviously over the past few years, he hasn't been the same player that he was in, I want to say it was 2022, 2021. I can't remember. It was I want to say his sophomore year where he really broke onto the scene before, I want to say he tore his Achilles, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been ACL, but I think it was Achilles. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the famous clip when he goes down and, he's obviously devastated. But he was balling out that year. I think in 8 games, he had 8.5 sacks, and he was one of the best edge rushers in the league that year before obviously going down. And since then, the production has not necessarily been there. I mean, kind of all around, you look at obviously just, total numbers as far as the box score, sacks, tackles for loss, everything like that. But, even as you go deeper, when you look at a pass rush win rate, a pass rush grade, whatever it may be, total pressures, he just obviously has not been the same player since returning from injury. So the Eagles are definitely taking a flyer. I mean, Jalen Phillips is a huge upgrade over any edge rusher that they currently have. So you like that for them. But, a third round pick is definitely a hefty price to give up. And it very well could pay off for them. I mean, the Eagles have shown us over the years that Howie Roseman knows what he's doing. So you never can doubt him. But the Eagles were very, very busy. And I don't mind this deadline at all. You give up in total, John Mechie, a 6th-round pick, 2 6th-round picks, and a 3rd-round pick, and you acquire some players that you feel can help you on the defensive side of the ball and bring that Lombardi Trophy back. It's a worthwhile gamble, I would say. The next trade we're going to be talking about is the Patriots sending defensive end Keion White to the 49ers. New England gets a 2026 6th-round pick for a 2027 7th rounder and Keion White. This one's not a massive trade. This was something that we kind of saw coming, a player that was very likely to be moved, and here he is getting moved to the Niners, who definitely need help off the edge. And, Keion White showed some flashes 2 years ago of being a productive edge rusher, but he's more of a rotational edge type of guy who can come in every, 2nd, 3rd down or so and potentially get you a big time play, but, not someone that's going to blow your socks off necessarily. So, as I mentioned, a team that needs help off the edge pretty bad. The Niners take not even like a risk or a gamble or anything. They just trade. They trade for a solid player who they feel can help them. They're trading, a 6th-round pick? I don't think it's that crazy. Keion White is most likely going to be better than a lot of 6th-round picks that they're trying to take in that range. And the last trade that I'm going to talk about is the New England Patriots, again in another deal, sending safety Kyle Duggar and a 7th-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a 6th-round pick. The Steelers, again, as I mentioned, these guys always go star hunting. Now, Kyle Duggar is not the star that he once was, 2 or so years ago when he really broke onto the scene and was looking like, one of the better young safeties in the league. He kind of just hasn't took another step after that. He's more so regressed. And that was tough because I was a big Kyle Duggar fan, especially when he took that leap. I was like, he's the type of safety that I just love. And it's just like you wanted to see him keep growing, and it just necessarily didn't happen, unfortunately. So I think it's a worthwhile gamble for the Steelers. Their DB room and that whole defense has not been good at all this year. and it's not a bad price to pay. You see a lot of 6th-round picks being moved here at the deadline, and they bring in a player in Kyle Duggar who they feel can provide a lot to the defense. So we'll have to see if that pays off. You got a safety duo of Minkah Fitzpatrick and Kyle Duggar. 2 years ago, sign me up for that. 3 years ago, sign me up for that. But, in 2025, going into 2026, is that a safety duo I love? We'll have to see, I guess. But on paper, not necessarily. And the last bit of news is not a trade, but an extension. The Detroit Lions have inked a deal to re-sign, or not re-sign, but extend Aiden Hutchinson. It is a 4-year, $180 million extension that includes $141 million guaranteed. A huge deal for Detroit to get done, and they are pretty much keeping all of their stars around. They are throwing extensions out left and right, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon because they got a lot of great players coming up here soon that are going to also need their money. And I'm sure the Lions are going to have no problem inking those deals as well. Aiden Hutchinson, a player that probably would have won Defensive Player of the Year last year, and so far through this year, he got my vote, as you can see in the previous video. So, $180 million for 4 years, give him whatever he wants. He is Detroit. He is the life of that city. So, yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It's a great thing, honestly. And that's pretty much all the trades, extensions, anything like that I wanted to talk about. And now I want to talk about some of the games that went on from this past Sunday. And really the only one that I really want to touch on is this Bengals and Bears game. And somehow the Bengals just keep on giving us game of the years back to back to back weeks. It's unreal how they do it. When you have a stellar offense and a terrible defense, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get high scoring, crazy games. And that's what they've produced to us. Here's the craziest stat you'll hear. The Bengals are the first team since the 1960s to score 38 plus points in back-to-back games and lose both of them. And the way that they have lost these games are pretty crazy. Obviously, last week, giving the Jets their first win, and the Jets having one of the most miraculous comebacks in recent memory. It feels like we're saying that almost every single week, so maybe it's not in recent memory anymore. Maybe this is just something that happens weekly. And then this past week with this Bengals and Bears game, and I watched this entire game. It was crazy. And when the Bears got that interception with I think around 4-ish minutes to go, I was like, oh yeah, this is over. There's no real point of watching this, And especially at first, it looked like it was a pick six, but he ended up being called down because Chase Brown touched him. And it's crazy. It is wild what the Bengals are putting out there. It is really the civil war between the offense and defense right now. If you're seeing the clips that are circulating with Jamar Chase and Chase Brown taking shots at the defense, telling them to go get a stop. And I'd be pretty frustrated too. I won't lie. If I'm putting up 40 points a game and we can't hold the defense to under that, I'd be pretty frustrated too. But also in the same sense, when you pay two receivers that much money and a quarterback that much money, you don't have a whole lot of money to invest into that defense. So I do feel for them. But also the first and second round picks that they've invested into that defense over the past few years also are like all really bad players. So it's like a weird spot. The Bengals are a mess. They really lucked out hitting on their top picks in a Burrow and a Chase, because without them, this team would be in shambles. And even with them, they already are. So wild stuff that the Bengals are putting out there. We also had an NFL record be broken this past weekend. Of course, it had to be against my Raiders. But Cam Little felt like it was inevitable. Him or Brandon Aubrey felt like they were going to be the ones to do it. And it happened. He kicked the 68-yarder to break Justin Tucker's record of 67. Leave a little pause there for that one. But yeah, Justin Tucker no longer holds the NFL record for longest kick in a game. That now belongs to Cam Little. My next, or final, I should say, final bit of news before we get into these bold takes are some injuries that went around the league this past Sunday, some of the bigger ones. Starting out with the one that hurt the most, that's Jaden Daniels, dislocating his elbow in a very, very nasty, gruesome injury, things that you just never want to see on a football field. And I really want to stay on this one for a second because it frustrates me when things like this happen, when they are so preventable. The Commanders were down by 31 points in the fourth quarter. 31 points. And I think there was I want to say there was only like 10 or 9 minutes on the clock when this happened. I could be mistaken, but I want to say we were comfortably into the fourth quarter too. It wasn't like at the start or something. You're down to 31 points. I mean, pardon my French, why the fuck is any of your top players in the game at this point? I mean, no joke, when I was watching this game, I was literally at halftime, I'm like, damn, they might pull starters at halftime. I think it was 28-0 at halftime, and that was a legit thought that was going through my head. Man, I mean, for both teams, they might start pulling starters. But for Dan Quinn to not pull him out, and then for him after to just be like, yeah, that's 100% on me. It is 100%. There's nothing that makes any type of sense to why he should be in the game. I never get it. I get flashbacks to the Derek Carr injury against the Colts when you're up by 3 possessions in the fourth quarter and he's still in the game. It makes no sense. I will never understand these coaches putting these players in this situation. I don't know if you ever knew this or not, but a 31-point comeback in the fourth quarter has never happened. It's never happened. And it probably never will, for good reasons. So it frustrates me so much. Thank God that it wasn't his throwing arm, because it could have, escalated even more. It could have been a more lingering problem that affected Jaden Daniels' career going forward. The fact that it is his left elbow or left arm, hopefully it doesn't affect him too much going forward. But that just it pisses me off when people make decisions like that and they're just so avoidable and also just make zero sense. There's zero logic. You can convince me. You can't convince me of anything to why that would make sense. It's just it's stupid. It is so stupid that he was in the game. But anyway, the other injury that I wanted to talk about is Joe Alt. He's going to get surgery on his ankle, and it's obviously season-ending injury. You don't get surgery in the middle of the season and come back from that. So Joe Alt, another blow to the Chargers, who are already missing Rashawn Slater for the season, miss another star player on their team in Joe Alt, when it's that was kind of the identity, not only of this offense, but kind of this team, where it's where you have these 2 star-studded, all-pro type caliber players at tackle who are just going to lead your team. And for both of them to go down, it's not great. It's a scary times over there in LA, a team that would hope to be competing in that AFC, not necessarily Super Bowl contention or anything, but obviously playoff contention, and hell, even sneaking a playoff win would be great for them. But missing 2 players of those caliber for the rest of the year, it makes it a lot more difficult. So again, another player you hate to see go down. But that's going to be all the news that I wanted to go over from this past Sunday. And we got the big portion of the video. we have our bold takes going forward this season. And my bold takes aren't fully, like, I'm not finna sit here and talk about, the Raiders are gonna win the Super Bowl or something stupid. Like, mine are more like overreactions in a sense, where it's like that. I guess that could be the same thing, like a bold take and overreaction. I guess they could be in the same category. But I get, we'll get to mine. We'll get to mine. So you'll see what I'm talking about once we get there. So I'll start out with mine. We'll go back and forth. I have a couple more picks than Jaden just because I was kind of just sitting here rattling them off when I was going through my notes. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk about that. I kind of want to talk about this. So I ended up putting 5 total. Jaden himself has 3. So we'll go back and forth until Jaden is out of his. And then, I'll go over my last 2. So I'll start out with my first one. And that is kind of a 2-parter. 1, the Ravens make the playoffs. And 2, Lamar Jackson wins MVP despite missing 4 games this season. That would make Lamar Jackson the lowest total games for an MVP in a long time. I know since 2000 there have never been an MVP to play 13 games and win it. And I think you have to go back pretty far to find an MVP. But I think it's a lot different with the 17 games because it gives him that extra game. Missing 4 games. Obviously, with the 16-game schedule, is only 12 games. I don't know, 13 to 12 just honestly feels like a big difference. I think it really is possible for him to do this, especially when you look at the leader or the projected MVP right now as far as odds, betting odds, is Josh Allen, who I think a lot of NFL fans would say that Josh Allen is definitely not the MVP this year. Like, he just hasn't played to that standard, which, I mean, to be fair, last year, I guess at this point of the season, he hadn't played to that standard. And then he had those 2 back-to-back games against the Lions and Rams, which pretty much gave him the MVP. But I really do think we could witness some historic stuff from the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, who, coming off over a month of missed football, just goes out there and casually throws 4 touchdowns. I mean, the dude is stellar. He's one of the top passing touchdown leaders while missing 4 games. I mean, that is stupid. That is ridiculous stuff by Lamar. So that's my first one. Ravens make the playoffs and Lamar wins MVP despite missing 4 full games. Was the first one you got, Jaden?
My first bold take is going to be Sam Darnold will finish as either the MVP or the runner-up MVP. And he is also having one of the greatest career resurgences of all time, if you take into account this year and last year.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I have a lot of things to back up this this claim.
Okay.
I took my time with this one. First, I'll start with, this is a more for this season thing. Mm-hmm. In NFL history, 4 quarterbacks have done the following over their first 8 games of a season: completed 70% of their passes, thrown for 2,000 plus yards, thrown for 15 plus touchdowns, and have taken 10 or fewer sacks. That's Tom Brady in 2007, Peyton Manning in 2009, Drew Brees in 2018, and Sam Darnold in 2025. He's been elite this year. Yeah. And I wanna back up my claim of him having one of the greatest career resurgences of all time. And that's going to go with, so his first 6 seasons in the NFL as a starter, he had a 21-35 record with a 1.1 touchdown to interception ratio, completing less than 60% of his passes. Yep. Over his last 2 seasons, he has a 20-5 record, 20 wins, 5 losses. He has a touchdown to interception ratio of 3.1, and he has a completion percentage of 67.4. I mean, like, the numbers, they're not lying. I mean, this guy is literally playing like a borderline, over the last 2 seasons, borderline top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm not going to say that that's what he is. I think he's I think he's pretty close to top 10. I think this season, now he's top 10. Over the last 2 seasons, I mean, we've had a lot of great quarterbacks have great seasons the last 2. I'd say he's close to top 10. But going from basically, looking like he's going to be a career backup, I mean, when the Vikings signed him, that's what they were planning on having him be. They were planning on rolling out J.J. McCarthy week 1 last year, correct? Before he got his Achilles or ACL injury.
I'm pretty sure that was the plan.
And McCarthy's like would have been like a 20-year-old rookie. Like,
right.
They were not planning on starting him, and he goes out and has an amazing season last year.
Yeah.
But to get back to this season, right now he is currently 2nd in the NFL in QBR behind Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. He's 3rd in the NFL in passer rating behind Lamar and Drake May. He has the highest completion percentage on passes 20-plus yards with a 73.3%.
Wow.
He's the highest graded quarterback by PFF. He's number 1 in the NFL in big-time throws with 21. He has the 6th lowest amount of turnover-worthy plays by a starting quarterback with only 5. And, I mean, he has a 70% completion percentage, which is 3rd in the NFL, 16 passing touchdowns, which is tied for 4th. He's also only taken 9 sacks, which is tied for the lowest among starters. And his team is also number 1 in the NFC West, a loaded NFC West.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing out of his mind. And he's got a Offensive Player of the Year caliber player on his offense to throw the ball to, which is helping, but he's putting the ball on the money. He's playing, almost perfect as a quarterback.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I think the second part of the take about the resurgence, I think that might not even be a hot take. I think that could just be a simple fact. I mean, that it's a resurgence that we just simply have never seen from a quarterback. I mean, talking about a guy that potentially should have been out of the league. I mean, with how he was playing, and to turn that around and play at an MVP caliber level is something that you simply have literally never seen. So unreal stuff by Darnold. And that's kind of funny because that kind of plays in to my next bold take. And again, I think this is more of an overreaction than a bold take, and it could not even be a bold take. It could just be a take that I believe. But I believe that the NFC Championship will be represented by the NFC West. I think it will be the Rams versus the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. I think those two are the best teams in the NFC right now. I think they're better than the Lions. I think they're better than the Packers. I think they're better than the Eagles. I think that they are just stellar. I think that Seahawks defense is arguably the best in the league. I mean, they have been playing absolutely lights out. As Jaden just talked about, Sam Darnold is playing at the highest level of quarterback in the league right now. You have an Offensive Player of the Year in Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have a running back in Kenneth Walker who, alongside, Sam Darnold being the highest graded quarterback, I think Kenneth Walker is like the 3rd highest graded running back, although for some reason Zach Charbonnet takes all of his carries. But yeah, I think the Seahawks are just unreal, man. They're playing some great football, and one of my bad takes that have aged pretty poorly. One of our first episodes was buying and selling stock, and I sold the Seahawks because that first game of that offense was not pretty at all. I mean, Sam Darnold threw for like 160 yards and like 130 something went to JSN. It was just not a great offense to watch. And ever since then, I mean, it is a complete switch. I mean, trust me, the whole offense still runs through JSN, but it's much more fluid. And I also didn't realize that JSN was going to continue to be this type of player. I thought, obviously he's going to have his great games here and there. I didn't think the dude was going to average 120 yards a game and be on pace for the greatest receiving season ever. It's some unreal stuff. And then even with the Rams, who have the ageless wonder in Matthew Stafford, who is also a legit MVP candidate, with 2 wide receiver ones on his team, with a defense that despite hasn't taken that leap that I think a lot of people wanted from that last year, they're still playing some great football. The offensive line is holding up. I just love those two NFC West teams, and I really do believe that it is going to be them two as the last two standing out there in that NFC Championship game. So that's going to be my second, I guess you can call it, bold take. Maybe it's not a bold take at all, but I think there's still going to be a lot of people that would take the Eagles to be in that game, potentially the Lions or the Packers or whoever, but yeah, I'm gonna say that the NFC West or the NFC Championship will be represented by the NFC West. What do you got as your next one?
My next bold take is going to be about another player, and that is going to be Christian Gonzalez is closer to being the best cornerback in the league than people realize.
Okay. And I know you're definitely feeling that
a
after
bit
this
recent.
past
after watching
Sunday.
him play, every snap of the game, watching him guard my receiver. Mm-hmm. And he did get dunked on, I'll be honest. That's kind of what Drake London does. One of the best contested catch artists in the league. But, I mean, Christian Gonzalez, he's absolutely – aside from that, that catch he allowed or that he got, mossed by, I believe he only allowed two more catches from Drake London that game. And one of them was kind of like off, like kind of seemed like they were maybe like a cover 3 and he was kind of playing off. And Drake London just kind of like, he was on the outside and kind of hit like a post route and got open for like 10 yards. The other one was like a comeback route for like 5-10 yards. Nothing crazy, but I mean, over the last 2 years, he has been absolutely locked down. He's been the 6th highest graded. He has the 6th highest coverage grade since 2024. He's allowed 0 touchdowns this season. He's allowed a 35.7 completion percentage when targeted this season. He's on average given up only 18 yards per game this season. I mean, he's just been absolutely elite, and that Patriots defense. I mean, how many games has he missed this year? He's missed what, like 2 games, I think. He missed the first game of the season and I believe the second.
Yeah, it's either 2 or 3, but I think it's 2.
But yeah, they have benefited very much having him back in the starting lineup. Also, there's a graph. I haven't seen one made this year. Obviously, I don't have the numbers for, his competition, how many yards he gave up this year. But I know last year he had some crazy good performances against like elite competition. I can't find out where I had it at. God dang it, if you could bear with me for a second.
I'll go ahead and fill in here real quick. Pause. Talking about the Patriots while you try to find that. I think it's funny, too, how important it is to hit on your first-round picks. Now, it's hard to do this just period, to go back-to-back years with a Christian Gonzalez and then a Drake May. I mean, that's rare type stuff. You're just not going to be able to do that often in NFL history. I mean, to draft, a potential cornerback 1 in the league and also quarterback 1 in the league. I mean, those guys legitimately have that type of potential. But the reason why I talk about that, the Patriots have been a really bad drafting team over the past year. I mean, 2024, they had 7 picks, or no, they had 8 picks, I believe it is. Only 2 of them are on the roster. The year before, in 2023, they had 12 picks or 11 picks, and only 4 of them are on the team. In 2022, only one draft pick is on the team of 10 draft picks, and in 2021, only 2 draft picks are on the team of 7 draft picks. So they have not particularly been good at drafting over the past 5 years or so, but I mean, hell, if they hit on their first round picks, and that's really what you got to do, because when you're able to hit on superstars like that, I mean, obviously the rest matters, but not as much.
And I found a graphic, by the way. Last season, his competition, he went up against Jamar Chase, guarded him for 20 routes, led up only 3 receptions for 15 yards. Jalen Waddle led up 1 reception for 15 yards. Garrett Wilson, another 20 routes, led up 3 receptions for 18 yards. Devontae Smith, 11 routes, led up only 2 receptions for 22 yards and a pass breakup. Tyreek Hill, 17 routes, led up 0 yards and got an interception. And he also went up against A.J. Brown, 19 routes, allowed 4 receptions for 47 yards. And that's just last year. I mean, he was absolutely locked down last year. This year, he's even better. Like I said, I don't have a graph for, the routes and the yards he's led up for the competition he's played. Yeah. But I know it's elite. He's led up 0.
Right.
0 touchdowns this year and is only giving up 18 yards per game. I mean, that can only, mean one thing.
Yeah.
That these receivers he's playing is he's locking them up. And I mean, he absolutely just followed Drake London around the field, no matter what side of the field he lined up on.
Oh yeah.
In the slot, outside. I mean, he mirrors the opposing team's best receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched a good amount of Patriots football this year, and it's very, very similar to how the Broncos do it, where, I mean, Patrick Surtain will literally follow the other team's best receiver all around, and I really like that. I really, really like when a cornerback, understands how good he is, the defensive coordinator and the team understands how good he is, and he believes in himself to go follow the number 1 around all game and give him, his best shot. And yeah, I think Gonzo is pretty comfortably CB2 in the league right now, only behind PS2. So I don't think that's a bad take at all.
By the way, I had him at number 2, but what I'm saying is the gap between him and Surtain is very close.
Yeah, I don't think it really is that crazy, because I also think Surtain is not having the group. No, I don't want to say that, but he's not having the season that he had last year. Obviously, he's not having a Depoy type season, but I think he still is the best. But I can definitely see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, the gap is not that crazy. I really don't think so. I want to say for my dark horse in DPOY before the season started, I picked Gonzo because I just understood how good he was last year. And the fact that when you have a corner that can almost erase an entire side of the field, I mean, it's rare stuff. And he really does have shades of a Patrick Surtain, which is funny because they're both still young in this league. But, man, are they very similar in a lot of things. But my next bold take is currently with the, I guess you can say, 4-headed race that we have right now. We are watching the greatest offensive player of the year race in NFL history. There has never been a better year with Jonathan Taylor, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Puka Nacua, and Christian McCaffrey. These guys are all on some record paces. Christian McCaffrey is on pace to shatter the running back receiving record. Jackson Smith-Njigba is on pace to break the receiving yard record. Puka Nacua, despite missing technically, I don't want to say 2 full games, but about a game and 3 quarters, is still on pace for a record type season. And Jonathan Taylor also is on pace to, I want to say, now I think this most recent game might have affected that pretty heavily, but I know he was on pace, I think, to break the total yards from scrimmage record. And not only that, I mean, he has 14 touchdowns right now through 9 games. I want to say maybe 8. I can't remember if the Colts had a bye. But I mean, what these 4 guys are doing right now is stellar. I mean, we've never seen it before. I mean, that's the take. This is the greatest offensive player of the year race ever, and it's gonna be exciting to see who wins it. I think Jonathan Taylor is comfortably the winner right now. Not I think, but he is comfortably the winner right now. And once that time comes, I think he will win it. That touchdown number is just hard to beat. I think JSN could break the record for most receiving yards, but if he only has like 7 touchdowns, I think the voters are just going to take that into account. But what all of these guys are putting out there on the field every single Sunday is genuinely it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I'm glad we get to witness it. I am glad that we get to live in the greatest offensive peak over the past since 2010-ish. I mean, the offensive play in the league just continues to be mind-boggling. So that's my third bold take, is that we are watching the greatest offensive player of the year race of all time. What do you got as your final bold take?
My final bold take is that I am not impressed with the Denver Broncos, and I think they are overrated.
Oh my God! You took the words out of my mouth. I wanted
Fuck the Broncos. No, I don't hate the Broncos, but
I wanted so badly to make a Broncos Bo Nix type of one, but I left it alone. But I'll let you go.
Yeah, my first note is I already don't love Bo Nix. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback the way, social media and like the fans of the Broncos try to make him out to be. I think he's all right. I think he's like a top half starting quarterback, so top 16, I'll give him top 15 maybe. Their record against above 500 teams this season is 1-2. They're in a lot of close games with bad teams. Their offense is pretty middle of the pack, and I'll give it to them. They're probably the most clutch team in the league in the fourth quarter. They come up clutch. They have these comebacks, but I mean it's against a lot of bad teams. They have five wins. 5 of their 7 wins are one score games against teams with a combined record of 13-33. And if you take away the Eagles from that, their 1 win against an above 500 team, it'll be 5 wins or 4 wins, I guess. 4 wins against 4 one-score wins against teams with a combined record of 7-31.
Jeez.
So they're just not playing great competition, and they're also just not looking great against bad competition.
Yeah.
And their offense is pretty mid.
Yeah.
They don't have the best running game. They don't, have amazing receivers. Their quarterback is all right, I guess. Their offensive line is really good, though. Give them that.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
That was one of the best offensive lines in the league. But
that was one, as I mentioned, I really wanted to get on here as a bold take. Like, I just wanted to flat out say that I'm not a fan of Bo Nix at all. But the one thing that I will say is I feel Broncos fans, because if I had a young quarterback that was doing the things that Bo Nix is doing, like, you couldn't tell me anything. Like I'm with it. I mean, he made the playoffs as a rookie. He had what? I think he might have had like 29 or 31 total touchdowns as a rookie. I mean, this year obviously they're 7-2 and he's had some big time performances, but I really do agree that I just am not a fan of Bo Nix at all. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I think he's probably closer to 20 than he is to 10 as far as rankings. But I really do feel for Broncos fans, because again, if you gave, if the Raiders go out there and draft one of these quarterbacks in this upcoming draft, like let's say they take Dante Moore at pick 6 or something, and he has the first year and a half that Bo Nix is having, you can't tell me nothing. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's the best rookie quarterback that we've seen. I feel him, bro. It's very easy to get attached to these young quarterbacks when they're playing well. And I
what
feel
I see
him
a
on
lot
that.
is, well, he's winning games, so it doesn't matter.
Right. And
With
that's
no
the whole
context added.
that's the whole, I don't mean to bring him into this, but that's the whole, Jalen Hurts thing. And his is to, I guess, a different level because he has made 2 Super Bowls. So I would definitely say that Hurts is better than Bo Nix. Obviously, he's probably a tier above, but I think it's similar conversations once it gets up to that upper echelon. Like, I don't think Hurts is on a level of, obviously the top 4 guys, and then you start talking about a Herbert and a Dak and a Goff and this and that, and it's like, still, I don't think he's near them. And that's kind of the same way even with Bo Nix and the people in his echelon. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to bring this into Broncos slander, but yeah, I'm also not a huge fan of what the Broncos are doing this year, despite their record and despite the fact that they should be a playoff team. I think it's going to look very similar to last year, but, time will tell. Who knows? Maybe they go out there and, win a playoff game, and Bo Nix looks great in that game, and, we could look like some fools, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of it at all.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix or Bryce Young?
I think I would go Bo Nix. I think I'd go Bo Nix. And the reason I would say that, I really like Bryce Young, but I think Bryce Young makes a lot more boneheaded mistakes than Bo Nix does. But also, I think Bo Nix is probably in a way, not probably, but is in a way better situation. So it's tough to say, but I would go Bo
Nix makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes, though.
No, yeah, 100%. But I think the Bryce Young stuff is like, I don't know, being a number 1 overall pick, having that type of hype, and sometimes it's like, man, we're still doing stuff like that. Like, bro, that underthrown ball in the red zone versus the Packers, I mean, that was like really bad, bro. That was like a almost like a it wasn't like a fade necessarily, but just it was a I don't even know what type of route you'd call that, but it was a really poor thrown ball. I mean, really terribly thrown ball for a starting quarterback in this league and a number 1 overall pick. But I think I'd go Bo, not like by a ton. I think they're both in a very similar spot, but I think I'd slightly lean Bo, just because at the end of the day, I do have to respect production to a certain point, so I think I'd go Bo. But it is close.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Bo Nix or Cam Ward? If you're starting a team.
Okay. Is that what you meant for the Bryce
player.
Young, or were you just saying who I think is better right now?
That was more who you think is better right now. This one's more if you're starting a team.
If I'm starting a team, I think it would be Cam Ward, no doubt. I think if the Titans get it together, I think Cam Ward has top 10 potential at quarterback. I don't think Cam Ward has a super duper high ceiling like top 5, but I could see Cam Ward being in top 10 conversations for a lengthy part of his career, if either moves on from the Titans or the Titans somehow get it together. But yeah, I'd go Cam. My final 2 bold takes that I want to touch on before I think we got one more thing that I want to get onto before we end this episode. But my final 2 takes, starting with the Raiders. And trust me, I don't like giving this team any type of airtime, but sometimes it just has to happen. And this is not necessarily in a good way. And this could not even be a hot take. As I mentioned, some of these hot takes are more like overreactions than hot takes, which could be the same thing. But anyway, the last 2 picks that the Raiders made in the first round over the last 2 years, 2025, 2024, in Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers, who are both surefire talents, these rock star, best player available type of players at the pick, a superstar running back and a generational talent at tight end. And hell, you had people saying generational running back. But with that being said, I believe that the Raiders made the wrong pick in both years. And it's crazy to say that, especially with Brock Bowers, with him obviously having the performance he just had on Sunday and his rookie year that he had, Ashton Jeanty with his, few explosion games that he's had this year. It's odd for me to come to that conclusion right now, but this is kind of something that I've kind of always thought was the case. And no matter how good a player can be at those positions, your team cannot go far with those players being your superstars when you lack talent at the other very, very, very important positions. Quarterback, offensive line, defensive backs. I mean, the list can go on. There are holes at a lot of positions. And the two players that were linked to the Raiders during those two drafts was 2024 was Quinyon Mitchell. And you see that he's been a great cornerback in his young career. And in 2025, it was Armand Membu, who, again, has been stellar for the Jets so far in his young career. And when you talk about building blocks and really building out the structure and the culture of a team, when you're able to draft a Pro Bowl caliber tackle and corner over, let's say a Pro Bowl level running back and all pro level tight end, the tackle and corner is just a much better option. It's a much better option. And it's like when you have these type of players like a Brock and a Jeanty, and it's like you can't figure out the edges of this team, it's like you're gonna look forward, and Brock is gonna be going into his third year, and you still don't have any type of direction at quarterback. Your offensive line is terrible. Your DBs are not good. I mean, even the culture of the team is not set. And then it's like you have these guys that are coming up off their rookie contract that are going to need to get paid. And it's like, what do? I mean, you don't got an offensive line to protect for Jeanty. You don't got a defense that can get stops when Brock Bowers is putting up 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it's like the having those type of weapons is just, it's becoming very, very overrated in the league, and you see that with a former topic I talked about in this episode in the Cincinnati Bengals. Really doesn't matter when you have all that talent on offense, when you don't draft the positions that matter, and specifically you don't hit on those positions. I don't want to hear the things where it's like, oh yeah, they went out there and attempted. I think teams are just bad at drafting. And no matter what an attempt can say, I mean, you got players that are taking a few picks after that are superstars at similar positions. You make the wrong pick over and over and over again. And I think the Raiders, despite making the right pick in a way, I think they made the wrong picks also. So that's one of my bold takes. That hurts to say, but I think it's the truth. And my last
not a big fan of Alex Leatherwood.
Come on, man. Please stop before I end this pod earlier. My last bold take that I want to talk about, and this one is actually probably my boldest take, considering what. Let me just do it. Rico Dowdle makes all-pro second team. Obviously, he's not making first team because we know who's making that. But the player that he would be fighting against is Christian McCaffrey. Now, the reason why that is difficult to do is because, as I mentioned, Christian McCaffrey right now is on a ridiculous pace. He's on pace for nearly 1,300 yards receiving as a running back. Just receiving, not rushing. But Christian McCaffrey as a running back, like just running the ball this year, has not been good at all. If I'm not mistaken, he leads the league in carries, and I think he averages like 3.5 yards a carry. And on the flip side of that, Rico Dowdle has started 3 games this year. In those 3 games, he has over 20 touches in all of those games. The Panthers are 3-0 in those games. And Rico Dowdle is 3rd in rushing right now, with only 3 games started. A lot of threes going on there. Rico Dowdle is playing like the 2nd best running back in the league, despite what Christian McCaffrey is doing. When he is able to get the rock, the Panthers are in a good position. I mean, they just took down the Packers solely off the back of Rico Dowdle. Now, somehow he got a penalty on the 2 pumps, even though we know it's only 3 pumps. I'm with you, Rico. I understand your frustration there. But jokes aside, Rico Dowdle is playing, stellar football. I don't think anybody could have saw this coming. His back-to-back 200-plus yards from scrimmage performances is incredible. And as long as the Panthers make him RB1 going forward, which they certainly should. I get it. Chuba was a stud last year. He started out pretty solid this year. But you got a player right here that, as of right now, is looking like a superstar. Flat out. You got to get this guy the ball. When he has 3 games this year where he started, all 3 of the games, 20-plus touches, all 3 of the games wins, 2 of the games with over 200 yards from scrimmage, the other one with, I think, like almost 150. You got to get the guy the football. It's that simple. So my final bold prediction is Rico Dowdle will make an all-pro team this year.
I have an objection.
All right, let's hear it, man.
I think you know what my objection is. Well, you said the player he'd be fighting against is McCaffrey. That's the only player he's fighting against?
If we're going to keep it an absolute band stack, Runsky and Bijan has not been great since that Bills game. Which I think it's only been 2 because you guys had a bye, right? Has it only been 2 games played since then, or has it been 3?
Yeah. But so we're just going to forget about everything he's done up to that point?
No, but I think it is a little
he's
bit
got
recency
like
bias.
200 more yards than
No, it is.
Dowdle.
It is 3. But I think the way that I'm looking at it more is like it's similar to it's like a Christian McCaffrey aspect. Bijan, again, like I said, it has been 3. Over these last 3 games has not been effective on the ground at all. Now, obviously, we know what Bijan can do through the air, but like I just feel like Rico right now, is just having an unreal season.
I'm not saying that he should. I'm not saying that you shouldn't think that about Rico, but to act like his only competition is CMC is a bit disrespectful.
I think I can see what you're saying, but I think the recent, success of Bijan is something that I'm taking into account. The fact that it's been 3 consecutive games, and I don't know if that stat still, I'm going to assume that stat still holds up because he only had 46 rushing yards against the Patriots. But ever since that 81-yard rush, his highest.
He had a 10-plus yard rush last game.
Okay. Well, obviously prior than that, was it only 1? The game? Okay. Well, then still, even that point still stands where it's like he's only had 1 10-plus yard rush in 3.5 games, essentially.
That's fair.
In the past 3.5 games.
But he also affects the game in the pass game a lot.
Right, 100%. And again,
so it's not only just rushing numbers.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. But I think if Rico is having, and I can actually search this up real quick because I'm curious to what Bijan is averaging per rush, and obviously that's not the end all be all, but I'm just curious. It's 5 yards a rush right now. Okay, so that's a lot higher than I expected. I guess he
just has a lot of games where we just don't put the ball on the ground. And he doesn't get those high, rushing attempt games. Even when he does go off, like against the Bills, he had did he have like less than 20 rushing attempts that game, I believe?
Yeah, he had 19 on the dot, 19 for 170. And it also is like you guys have a split backfield, but
and it's like if the running game is not working early on, we just get away from it so quick.
Yeah.
That's why if Bijan had Arthur Smith under him right now, he might be leading in Offensive Player of the Year because Arthur Smith ain't afraid to run that rock.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at it, you guys
they just go away from him way too much when it's not working. So yeah, it's tough.
You guys are 3-5 right now, and in your 3 wins, Bijan has 17 carries, 19 carries, 22 carries, and those are all the most of his season. Yeah. The other games are 12, 13, 14, 9, 12. And again, as I mentioned about the recent success, over the past 3 games, Bijan, as far as yards per attempt, 2.9, 2.8, 3.8. So it's more like recently Bijan and CMC are not so great as far as effectively running the ball, and Rico Dowdle is just on another level. But again, those 2 running backs are affecting the game through the air. So it's really tough to say. That's why it's my last bold prediction. Do I really believe that? No, I think at the end of the day, what CMC is doing through the air is just going to be too much, and that's going to be that. But, I mean, hell, if Rico goes out there and has another 200-yard from scrimmage game, I guess anything is possible. But my last thing that I want to get to before we wrap up this episode, because, I mean, it's getting late. We've been recording for a while. I got to get up at 7 a.m. to go to the dealership to get my car serviced, is fantasy football. Me and Jaden just had...
Please go fuck yourself, man. I didn't even know this was on the thing today.
An absolute...
This is the first time we're bringing up fantasy in 2 weeks, by the way.
We haven't talked about it a lot, but I think this is much needed because, trust me, if you would have beat me, I would have talked about this.
No, you wouldn't.
I swear to God.
No, you would
because
not.
Because I was getting the information.
Marvin Harrison needed 21 points to beat me today. He drops 22, his season high.
And you want to know something?
Leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I was looking at this going forward. I was going to send a text too. Marvin Harrison has only ever reached this thing 2 other times in like his 24 game career so far, something like that, 23, 24, 25, something like that. He only reached this point total 2 other times. And I was like, he literally has to have a legacy game. And I want to thank God for the Cardinals staying with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, because he simply is never going to put numbers up like this with Kyler Murray, which I think is a big reason why the Cardinals, I think, will eventually move on from Kyler Murray, because Marv just is not the same player with Kyler back there, unfortunately, like he is with a Jacoby Brissett, who's going to push the ball downfield and in a way force targets to my man. But this game was 151.3 to 149.76. And I'm talking about we had some unreal performances. Lamar on Thursday night with 33 points, 4 passing touchdowns, and I had to have Mark Andrews on my bench with 2 touchdowns, which was hurting my soul. Derrick Henry, I also had on my team, who got stopped at the 1-yard line, I think 2 different times that game, and both of them led to a Lamar Jackson touchdown, which was hurting my soul. On the opposite side,
Derrick Henry fucked up my parlay doing that.
Why, you had a rushing
touchdown? I needed a rushing and receiving touchdown from him and Lamar. I mean, Lamar, that motherfucker was playing like Dan Marino on Thursday. Like, he didn't want to run nowhere. So,
and that's another thing I wanted to talk about that earlier in the episode, and I forgot. Lamar Jackson obviously made his return, and he obviously a 75% Lamar Jackson is still one of the best players in the world. But he definitely didn't look like himself. He definitely was not moving the same way. He did not want to run as much, despite him having some pretty good rushing numbers, if I'm not mistaken. He had never mind. What am I talking about? He had 5
like
for 14.
one scramble.
I don't know why I thought he had
that
like
I can
40
remember.
yards, but I'm tripping. But yeah, he just wasn't moving the same. But as far as in the pocket, he was still looking like himself. But anyway, back to the scoring. On the flip side, I've had Caleb Williams as my starter pretty much the whole year, and it's paid off certain games, not so much in other games. And this one it certainly did, because Caleb Williams in our 6-point passing league went for 44.7 points. And some of that also has to do with Caleb Williams not only passed the ball, rushed the ball, but he also received the ball. He had 2 receptions this game, and one of them was a touchdown. That's a whole 8 points right there, just from the 2 receptions and the touchdown, not counting the yards that come with that. But he had 280 passing yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 5 attempts for 53 yards. And as I mentioned, the 2 catches, I don't have the yards for that off the top of my head, but he did have a touchdown as a reception. Marv balled out 22.6, Puka 22.8 in his comeback. My defense and kicker, for me, always seem to show up, unlike Brian Thomas Jr., who I'm considering cutting at this point because I can't do it anymore. And not only that, I had, DJ Moore with 25 points on my bench, who, I mean, to be fair, I'm probably never starting him. Like, he's only like if someone get injured or on a bye type of start. It's just, I'm not a fan of DJ Moore in fantasy at all. And Brian Thomas Jr. is my first round pick, so I kind of just have to stick out with him. I literally have a patch of him right back there that I got in the setup now. But yeah, and a crazy matchup from me and Jaden. My season is still somehow alive.
Season's not alive, buddy.
I'm telling you, I'm about to rip off 6 straight. We got Amarion Hampton coming back from IR. I think that's where my season really went away. Obviously, I've dealt with a ton of injuries this year and just bad luck with bye weeks and everything. And I was cooked regardless this year when you look at all the players that I traded away still getting injured. But, man, that Hampton injury, I cannot stress enough about how bad that is. Like, I beat – Nico is not undefeated right now if he doesn't get – I lost by, I think I lost by like 4 or 5 points that week, and Omarion Hampton had like 13 point. Let me see exactly. Omarion had 13 points on the head, and he went out with an injury in like the 3rd quarter. And again, Hampton was cooking. I mean, he had 24.9, 27.5, and then 13 through like 2 quarters and however many minutes. Like, he was on pace for 3 straight 20-point games, and I didn't see it stopping any bit, because not only it wasn't like a touchdown reliant or this or that. I mean, he was like Herbert's like number 2 target in that offense. In those games, he had 6 receptions, 5 receptions, 6 receptions. Like, he was very comfortable catching the ball out of the backfield. So I was very confident that Hampton was going to be able to keep that up. And after that, I mean, Puka goes out. I got to deal with 5 buys in a single week, which turns me into an automatic loss. And it's like, my season just kind of spiraled it from there. But, I got some faith, man. I got some faith, bro. If Hampton can come back now, the bad part is I'm not going to have a running back 2 for this upcoming week, because I thought Hampton was going to be back, and he's probably going to miss another game or 2 potentially, which really sucks. But I mean, shit, man. I got faith, man. If as long as Jacoby keeps starting, Puka's going to do his thing. We know that. Derrick Henry hopefully can get into the end zone. I mean, shit. In Lamar's first game back, he goes for 119. He should have had a touchdown, but, that obviously couldn't happen. I don't know, man. I got faith, man. I got to rip 6 off in a row pretty much to have any chance of making the playoffs. And who knows, man?
You're one to talk about fantasy injuries.
Why? Oh, because of what? Because of what you're dealing with or something?
I mean, what I've dealt with all seasons.
Yeah,
my
the
first
Lamar one hurts.
Second,
the Brock.
3rd, 4th round pick are now going to miss 4+ games total.
Yeah. I forgot.
Lamar, Brock, Garrett Wilson, Worthy.
Yeah.
Do I keep going on?
Did Saquon get injured?
Saquon.
Because they just had a bye, right?
He might as well be. I mean, in that offense.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, the last performance we saw.
Yeah, he had looked good. Yeah, he had a good game.
But I mean, that's really only because it was against the Giants. He's like always going to do that against the Giants.
I mean, the whole season, I mean, he's just been mid. I mean, his red zone touches get taken away by people digging in Jalen Hurts' ass and pussy offense.
By Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert taking 3 touchdowns away from Saquon. Man who literally won them the Super Bowl last year. Brought them to the Super Bowl. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've dealt with our fair share.
I said my first. I don't know why I said my first. I meant my second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, when you said
and
first,
fifth.
I'm like, did Saquon get injured?
Second, third, fourth, fifth. My bad. All those picks. I've missed 4+ games if you're gonna include Garrett Wilson because he'll miss more.
Yeah.
Worthy missed 4 games. Brock missed 4 games. Lamar missed 4 games. You know?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, the Puka and Hampton injury were devastating. Yeah, it's. I mean, injuries are plaguing the league. Like, I mean, even in my other league, bro. Like, I'm still. I think after this win, I'm 7-2 now, with the Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb injuries. But yeah, injuries are just ruining the sport, man. Turn them off. Turn off injuries, bro. But yeah, that's gonna do it, man. A long pod, over an hour and 30 minutes. We haven't done this for a minute. No off the field today. As I mentioned, I got to get up early. I got to get up in 5 hours.
Oh, that just reminded me. All right, so today's off the field.
There he goes. But anyway, yeah, that's going to do it, man. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Make sure, as always, to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to rate us 5 stars. Make sure to check out the socials down below as well. And yeah, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We're out. Peace.